eyes burn.
Your eyes burn?
I think I woke up that I was still sleeping. Is it even possible to wake up when you're sleeping? I think so. Some mornings I wake up and I'm awake. I mean, I wake up that I'm awake.
Look, all I know is that
But
you
there
were
are times-
sleeping and then I got up and then you woke yourself up and you got up.
Because I was already kind of like,
I think you needed more sleep.
I think so. Hello everybody, here we are with another topic today. Let's see what it is.
No, we can't start like that.
No? How do we want to start?
We have to start.
Oh yeah,
with the
that I
thing.
am your
Yeah,
girlfriend.
no.
Otherwise people think I'm
Mhm.
your mom or grandma, whatever. Okay, go ahead.
I hate doing intros. Hi, I'm Sadie, and this is P, and she's my girlfriend. We've been together for 5 years, and we're gonna do another chit-chatty type video. And I'm not awake yet.
Me neither. This is it for
Oh
today.
my god, how many topics did I write? I don't remember any of them.
Oh, food! Okay.
Okay.
So, do you want to start first?
Me or you? I feel like you're more passionate about this topic.
Food!
About
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, I feel very close to my life.
It hits home.
Totally. So, as many of you already know, I was suffering of IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome.
And for those who
many-
don't know, that's just like when you eat something and it can be a lot of different things and it just irritates your bowels and you feel pain and cramping and you go to the washroom a lot of times.
Yes.
That's
Some other people
boring.
experience different symptoms, like constipation. I was experiencing like
Expulsion.
yeah, exactly. And for me, actually, it was normal. Because I didn't know that I had to change anything in my diet. I thought that this is normal, I'm going to the washroom 3 times a day, maybe more, it's normal, But when menopause hit, I noticed that so many minerals, vitamins, I was lacking a lot of those things because I wasn't able to absorb it, because IBS is all about inflammation of the intestines, so the intestines are not able to absorb what you need, what your body needs. So I tried to totally eliminate gluten and things were fine, and introduce more meat in my diet, because without glutens and also no sugar, it was very difficult. I was always hungry. So until one day last year, your mom sent me a link, this doctor who has a YouTube channel, and they speak about keto diet, and then I thought, oh, that's interesting, and I followed those advices, and my IBS disappeared. Not only I had to eliminate gluten, so pasta and bread, but I had to eliminate also grains and legumes. And keto is all about animal fats, so I had to increase my intake of meat. And so I did, but the meat had to be, because I'm also very conscious, like cows, for instance, are treated inhumanely. Mostly what you want to do when you're on a keto and you increase also the meat, you want a very, very high quality meat, and high quality meat is grass-fed meat. What you want to eat is coming from an animal that was raised in a human way and it was happy, like pasturing, eating grass, So that's my diet, and now I'm feeling much, much better.
I can see the difference, because when you mess up and you go backwards, like you immediately have symptoms. Bloating, like
or
you go to the
pain.
washroom.
It's just like cramps, like pain. It's really bad. And before that, I mean, you guys, you can't imagine the amount of sugar I was eating, like refined sugar other than carbs, a lot of sugar, like in cookies, a lot of cookies. I was such a junky food eater in that way. How about you?
I grew up in Turkey, and I grew up on a Mediterranean diet. It's like a really varied diet, lots of cooked vegetables in olive oil. There's always bread, like bread is a staple, but not like the soft, squishy, sweet bread like the American kind. It's more like the baguette or like the French bread. It's crunchier. Usually you don't have in the Turkish tradition like just a giant piece of meat, because they couldn't afford that back in the day. So the culture is all about using a little bit of minced meat in a giant thing of cooked beans, or like a little bit of meat and you put it in the peppers and you cook it in the tomatoes and you eat it with bread. So it's like less meat and more everything else. So I grew up like that. that, and then I decided to fuck myself up. I came to Canada, of course, and I was eating everything like fast food. And then at one point I decided to go vegan. So I went like 180, and that was like really restrictive kind of vegan diet. There was like a raw vegan movement happening where people were eating like a lot of bananas and...
The banana diet.
Yeah, the banana diet. I was on that diet for like a couple of years where I wasn't letting myself have any fats. I actually gained a lot of weight on that diet.
And you fucked up your gallbladder.
And I fucked up my gallbladder. Yeah, I had gallbladder attacks after that, like really bad ones.
Because you didn't have any oil.
Exactly. And you know how I healed my gallbladder? And this is like kind of controversial, but it does work. It worked for me at least. You basically drink olive oil. Like I would mix 1 cup of olive oil, let's say, and like 1 cup of orange juice, and you mix it up and you drink it on an empty stomach, and it like makes your gallbladder get rid of the stones or whatever you have.
Were you also experiencing like an acid reflux? No, just the
but the gallbladder attacks were really bad. I think if I had gone to the hospital at that point, they would have taken it out, but I didn't because I was stubborn and I was like, I'll be fine. And I went through like maybe 5, 6, 7 attacks like in a month. It was so bad. And every time I would get an attack, I would do this olive oil thing. And at one point, they just stopped. Mm-hmm. And I never went back to that high carb vegan diet. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to stay vegetarian or like vegan for as much as I could. But the problem for me was my body was not functioning as well. Maybe I wasn't as careful as you're supposed to be, like making sure I'm getting all my little vitamins and this and that. But I felt like if it's such a natural diet for the human body, why do I have to supplement it so much? Yeah. And it didn't make sense for my lazy ass to try to do all of that. So slowly I kind of had a little bit of fish here, and then I had a little bit of chicken, and over time I kind of went back to my original way of eating and making sure it's more balanced.
What was your favorite food when you were a child and your least favorite food?
I don't know. I liked everything. I really enjoyed food.
Everything.
I enjoyed a variety.
You didn't have a
of
preference.
Food. Yeah. I mean, if one thing I hate is probably like really smelly fish. I don't like that.
Okay. I hated beans.
You hated beans?
Yeah, when I was a child, I hated beans. I remember the taste of beans was so foreign to me. I was like, what the heck is this in my mouth? And thank God legumes are not keto friendly at all.
And they're not good for your IBS either, because they're very high
they were
fiber.
Yeah, they are very high in fiber.
This is not us preaching one way of eating over the other.
It's honestly, our experience.
It's our experience. And also, one thing I've learned is that the most important thing is intuitive eating. Like eating what your body is asking for. And you can figure that out by trial and error. One thing I would recommend, and you would too, I think, is to stay away from sugar as much as possible, because sugar is highly addictive. So it's not that your body's intuitively wanting sugar, your brain gets addicted to sugar. It's a different thing. Yes. Like I have a very addictive personality or chemistry or whatever you want to call it. And it's crazy if I eat something like sweet, like a cake or chocolate, the next day I will crave it. If I don't eat it the next day, I'll crave it again. And if I don't eat it the next day, I won't crave it. Yeah. It's that addictive. So you might want to stay away from that. Not so much with fruit.
I would say that sugar is really is worse than any other drugs. I think it really...
Take that with a grain of salt.
I would say that actually, in my opinion, it is. And it's so spread out and it causes so many diseases. I think you don't really connect it to the intake of sugar because it's a long-term developing diseases, you know.
Maybe you don't want to start this argument because you don't have any scientific backup for that.
I don't know. It's arguable. As I said, it's arguable, but I really think so. It's
okay. Let's just not go there. It's gonna get really bad. One thing I've learned is that it's not that difficult to lose weight. You have to just don't do these diets where you restrict calories or anything. You just don't eat for a while. This is gonna sound like awful advice, like don't become anorexic or anything, but it's not about restricting. It's about fasting for a long time and letting your body kind of settle and do its own thing, and then when you're hungry you eat. And then,
but when you talk about fasting, do you mean 1 day, 2 days, 2
no
days?
Like usually, for example, for me, I don't like eating breakfast. I'll sleep and then I won't eat until I'm really hungry, which is usually around 2 p.m. And so I won't eat anything until 2. If I were to eat something for breakfast, I would get hungry within 2 hours. Like I would be starving. But if you don't eat anything, your body, you don't feel hungry. Like you don't feel that hunger pain.
Yeah, I think stopped.
No, it's still recording.
No, it's not.
We froze.
Totally.
Uh-oh. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye. I don't know what's wrong with the camera.
Uh-oh.
The camera got bored.